Anyway, next in line, next thing we got on the slate tonight is once again another small story, not a big huge deal, but some of you out there in comic book land might be interested in this story. I feel pretty good about it. I'm interested. I'll say that. More interested than in the last story, that's for sure. And that's Constantine is coming back for a reboot series, this time on HBO Max. And it's being brought to us by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot. Whether Abrams will be involved with it or not, I don't know. And that is a plus or a minus depending on who you are and how you feel about J.J. Abrams. So Constantine, a.k.a. Hellblazer, which is actually the original name of the series that John Constantine was in, is apparently coming back. They say smoke them if you got them because Constantine reboot is in the works at HBO Max. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is developing the series, which is based on the DC Comics character who first appeared in the pages of the Saga of Swamp Thing. I didn't know that. And went on to lead his own book, Hellblazer. Constantine movie featuring Keanu Reeves was released in 2005, and previous Constantine TV series ran for one season on NBC, and now a new one is on the way. I never saw the Constantine TV show with this guy here. I think his name is Ryan. It probably says it in here somewhere. But this guy right here, I've heard good things about it. I know a lot of people were disappointed that it got canceled after just one season. His character did show up on some of the other CW shows. When I used to watch those, like Arrow and the Arrowverse, he has shown up on some of those. I can't remember which ones, but just a couple of times. He seemed like I liked his Constantine, but of course I'm more familiar with, and most of my Constantine knowledge honestly comes from the 2005 Keanu Reeves movie, and I know it strays from the source material some, but I like the character of Constantine, the idea about him, and I think that the show could, it could be really interesting. It could be good depending on what direction it. However, is there really are they trying to do like the MCU? I mean, what is this character going to be? Because a lot of DC shows right now are on the CW, like the Arrowverse and all that, and that's where this show was. So are they going to try and do a more, is this going to be more dark and gritty? Because Constantine's always been kind of like a darker comic book, and the rated R 2005 Keanu Reeves movie was as well. Are they going for like the DCEU type of vibe? Are they bringing that to the small screen now? Are we going to get some kind of like Disney Plus is doing with the MCU? Are we going to get some DCEU type shows? I don't think that's a terrible idea. Why not? Do that. See if these characters work, and maybe then they get a movie, like a big blockbuster movie, or maybe even like a team up. Or maybe that's what DC needs to do. Instead of releasing all these individual movies that are kind of like hit or miss, have a show, put a lot of thought into it with some characters people can really get involved with. And then do your Justice League or whatever. After all this Zack Snyder Justice League and all that, do your Justice League Avengers team-up movie as a movie. But just take the show, have like a high-quality movie, production value show or shows, kind of like the CW's doing, but, a bit more high quality, on HBO Max, where the money is, and lots of people, they'll bring people in, and then have them all kind of converge on a fucking movie that way. I think that's a great idea, especially now with the way theaters are and everything, and who knows how theaters are going to come back and how many people are actually leaving their house. Is there really that big of a difference in watching one of these high-dollar, high-production TV shows versus a high-dollar production movie at home on your couch? There's not really that big of a difference. You just get more of it with the TV show. So I don't know if that's I just kind of went on a rant there about it, but I think that would be a cool idea for DC to try out. But it says, they're bringing it back. Keanu Reeves, of course, is not going to be involved with this. Neither is the guy who played Constantine in the last adaptation. But J.J. Abrams, or his production company, Bad Robot, will be. Now, Bad Robot has made some good stuff, and they've made some questionable stuff. Me, myself, personally, when Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams first hit the scene, I was a big fan. I thought J.J. Abrams was pretty much anything he touched just went to gold. He's doing some great things. Past few years, it's been a little shaky. Look at Star Wars, that's real hit or miss, and some other things, some decisions Bad Robot has made. So that kind of, I see how that could be a really good thing for Bad Robot coming in, because Bad Robot usually gets a lot of money, and they usually do, at least on the production side of things, they afford a very high dollar production, and things look good and get what they need. But I just hope they don't inject some other things into this that don't have a place in it. It does says that they also added that the J.J. Abrams production company Bad Robot is working with Warner Media, who owns HBO Max, on the reboot, and the show is expected to feature the lead character as a young Londoner, which is what, well, I don't think he's supposed to be young, but he is a Londoner. Constantine originally is. I don't think he's supposed to be young, though, so maybe this is going to be like a young Constantine kind of thing. It goes on to talk about how the character was created by Alan Moore and Rick Vittick and Stephen Bissett, and just gives a backstory on him and just pretty much all the stuff I've already said. He is a magical character. He has magic. He has powers and stuff like that. Not in the traditional sense like Superman and things like that. He's more about like conjuring spells and things of that nature. Very much like the Keanu Reeves version was. A little bit more, I think the comic book version and the previous show was a little bit more magic-y than the Keanu Reeves one, but still. This doesn't give us a lot here. We don't have a lot to go on with this story. It's just pretty much saying, hey, it's coming. It's so early. But I'm excited for this. I mean, I'm not like excited yet, but I think this could be something cool. I just wonder, because the Constantine is their first show on HBO Max. I don't know, it just seems like are they testing the water? Are they seeing, hey, let's see how this does, and if it does good, maybe we'll start bringing in some of our bigger, heavy hitters. Because DC does, people talk about Marvel all the time. Let's be real. DC has some really, really, really great characters that could lend themselves to a type of, look at the Arrowverse and all that, the Flash and everybody. They have some great characters and especially some great villains. DC has the best villains. I don't care. I will fight you over that. DC has the absolute best villains. You want to talk about superhero, the actual heroes themselves? I think they got the best heroes too. I don't think they've always had the best representation, but I think they do have the best heroes, but they definitely have the best villains. Marvel's villains are, they got some good ones, but compared to like the Joker and all, really, Catwoman, which is kind of like sometimes a villain, sometimes not. The DC just has some really great villains. And I'd love to see them all done right in like a long-form, high-dollar TV show-esque way, as long as it's faithful to the books, the comic books, which it originated with. And I think that would be a cool idea for them to kind of merge together in a big movie. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll do it. Not that they brought that up here. That's just me like speculating. Like I said, there's not a lot to this story. We just know that Constantine's coming. But if you're a Constantine fan, and if you were a fan of the old show, well, not old now, not just a few years ago, or the 2005 Keanu Reeves movie, there is hope on the horizon. There's another Constantine coming. And since it's going straight to HBO Max and Bad Robot is involved, it will, at very least, have money and a good production behind it. What direction they go with it, I don't know, but we'll find out. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the coming year. Thanks for checking out this clip from the JarCast Movie Podcast. If you like this and want more, then check out the JarCast live stream every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time on the Jacob Anders Review YouTube channel, where you can also find movie reviews every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You can also listen to the entire podcast on all major podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Google, and iTunes. So if you prefer audio, whichever one is your preferred, check it out there. Once again, I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching. And as always, stay sexy, YouTube.